So you have your life insurance license and you're ready to start making some money. But first, you need to get through dial day. In this video, you'll find some tips on how to win on dial day and guarantee success on the field. The key to success is winning with dials. So first, we're going to prep. The number one most important thing that you need for dial day is the right mindset. If you go into dial day scared, negative, pessimistic, you think people are going to scream at you, yell at you, they don't want you to call them, they won't be available, they won't answer, guess what will happen? Exactly that. You will get the energy that you're putting out. So when you start dial day, you need to have the right mindset. People are going to answer. They filled these forms out, or they filled the form out online. They requested this information. Not only that, you know how important this is and how valuable it is for their family and sometimes generations to come. So this is something that they need. They're counting on you to reach them. There's been times where I call people and it's too late. By the time I'm finally able to reach them, the husband or the wife has passed away. So you want to make sure you reach them before that happens. They're counting on you. So the right mindset, people are going to answer. They're happy to hear from you. You will book appointments. Once you have that down, step 2, scripts. You need a guaranteed great script to make these calls. We have a ton of scripts for all types of leads that are guaranteed to work. This is what top performers are using. This is what's getting them to Hall of Fame and what's getting them to hit 30 appointments per week and consistently hitting their numbers. So don't overthink it. The script works. Make sure you use the script. So in order to win with the script, you need to review it, role play a little bit, friends and family, by yourself in the mirror. Make sure it sounds smooth to you. It's going to take a few times for it to feel that way, but get those kinks out of the way before you call your first customer. Now, if the script doesn't sound completely smooth to you, you can change a few words, but remember to change words that are non-essential. Don't change the core of the script because that's your moneymaker. That's what kind of gets customers to book the appointment. So change little words here and there that don't quite sound like you, that you can change to something more natural that'll flow. Once you have your script ready, now you have your leads. When you have your leads and you're going to call your leads, you want to make sure you review the lead as the phone is dialing. You want to know their name. Does it say if they have a spouse? Are they married? Does it have occupation, age, best times to call? Any details that customize the information for this customer is what's important. It's going to help you connect with them. It's going to help you understand them. And that way you know if you need to book with a husband and wife, just a husband, if they're more of an AM person versus PM, if they work, do they have a job that works until 5 p.m. So it gives you a lot of information that you can use and it personalizes it to them so they know it's not a general call. This is specific to them. Mary, you said your hobby was reading. That's very specific. So make sure you have those details when you call. And I also have a couple of things that I use. I have a map that I use. This is the map that I'm in Florida. You want to have a map of all the counties, especially if you're hitting different counties. If you're very in 1 or 2 counties, you can print the counties so that you can see the areas that you're going to. I also keep a list of the counties that we go to most often in order from north to south. That way when I call, I know what order to call the cities in. You want to make sure that you have this so you know that certain counties are next to each other. You can work them together and go this way, go north, go south. It's going to keep you more efficient. So before I get started on dial day, I check my leads and I see what area are they in. If it's all in one county, you don't have to worry, but sometimes they're in multiple counties. So I'll see which ones have the most, and that's the area I'm calling for Tuesday, let's say. And then based on that, I go in order of city. Usually I start as far away from home as I can and then work myself towards the house. But you can choose your own style. And I also use an agenda. I do plug them into a calendar after, but I like having it in an agenda so that I can see all the slots easily, plug in customers' information, see what's available, and I write a little letter here of what city I'm in. So I know the drive time between cities by now, and I have the time slots. So when I call, these are the slots that I have available. In the beginning ones, I can change it up a little bit, and then that will require that I change the rest of them. But after I have a couple in, my times are set to be able to maximize and get the most appointments in one day. So time slots. When you get started, some agents do an hour, some agents do an hour and a half, some do 2. If you're starting out new, I would recommend doing 2. Because you're new, you might need help in home. You probably will be calling somebody for help. You'll run into some kinks, especially in the beginning, and you don't know how long you'll take. It gives you enough time to take care of that customer and comfortably drive to the next house. If you happen to have free time, it gives you time to go and door knock leads in the area and things like that. But it makes sure that you don't fall behind. Once you've been doing this for a little bit, you'll kind of get an idea of what your average home visit is. And then you can adjust your time slots to an hour and a half or an hour, whatever you're most comfortable with. And then the schedule. Most of the times, the peak times to call are 8 to 12, and then about 3:30, 4 p.m. until 7:30. Those are the best times to call. If by 12 I'm having a bad day and I don't have enough appointments, I will continue to call between 12 and 4 to kind of catch up and make sure that I'm able to hit my appointment goal by the end of that shift or that day, right? I want to make sure that I book for the next 2 days. Now, when it comes to dialers, I use a lot of mailers. So I personally use Skype. I use Google Voice. I have a couple of area codes because it gives me another number to call from. So I can call them again from a different number. Technically, the other one wasn't me. And it also lets me call different counties with an area code that is close to them. So I would recommend doing something like that. If you're calling instance or anything that does not have a mailer, I highly, highly recommend a dialer, like phone burner, because you're going to move through those calls so much faster. You're going to be so much more efficient, and you'll be able to book a lot more appointments and then just kind of run through them again in the PM shift a lot faster than if you were just dialing. It also kind of gets you through those jitters because you don't have time to wait and think, should I call this number? Should I take a break? Do I go to the bathroom? It dials the next one. If they don't answer, it dials the next one, and it keeps going like that. So that is a really, really, really good tool to use. Now, during that 12 to 4 break, if you're not making appointments because you're doing pretty good, I recommend you do a little reset. Remember, mindset is the most important thing. So between 12 and 4, you want to kind of be a little refreshed. It does take a little bit from you to dial for 4 hours and speak to different people. So listen to your favorite music, take a lunch break, take a walk outside for about 15, 20 minutes. Remember that how you show up to these appointments and your mindset is going to be key to winning. So investing that 30 minutes or an hour into doing something like that and putting yourself in the right mood for 4 to 8 is really going to make a difference. And then if you're in the office and things like that, I would recommend investing in your business. So during that break, you also want to be listening to podcasts. You can listen to people doing role plays. There's tons and tons of videos on YouTube that you can listen to grow your knowledge base and your business. Reading a book. Make sure you're always investing in yourself and investing in your business. So now it's call time. So 8 a.m., you don't want to look for your script or your leads or set up at that time. You need to do that before so that 8 a.m. you can dial your first number. At that time, you're going to be able to get a lot of people before they go to work, people that are early birds, and that's the time before they head out to doctor's appointments and things like that. So it's really important to be on at that time and ready. The tone. When you're talking to people, you don't want to be really high-pitched or overly excited. You want to kind of just talk in an even tone. Hi, Frank, this is Cathy. I'm the field coordinator in the area. I'm just giving you a call. And then you just go through the script. In the script, there's going to be a couple of pauses. It's a really short pause. Not enough for them to say anything. You don't want them interrupting the script, but just enough for the sentence to kind of kick in, for them to understand, and then you move forward. So it's just a second or two. You pause, you move forward. You are going to be asking a couple questions that are confirmations or yes or no answers. Remember that you are in control of this call and you're in control of the appointment setting. You don't want them leading the whole call and going out of the script and things like that. So you want to just ask yes or no questions that they can respond to. And then you're also going to get some rebuttals, right? Rebuttals are normal, they're natural. People are sometimes scared to make that appointment, they're hesitant. If they're unsure about anything, their first response is to say no. But remember, they requested this information. It's crucial to help their family. It's going to make such a difference. And you are the one that knows how important this is. So you have to push for them. So usually I don't take the first no, I take about 3 or a hang up. And if they hang up, I give them a call back. So with rebuttals, we are going to have future videos where we do some role plays and we also go over specific rebuttals. But for today, just in general, every rebuttal, just agree with them. Whatever it is, I completely understand. You're busy. Oh, I'm totally busy too. Let's get through this really quick. I'm just setting the appointment. What time would work best for you? 5 p.m. or 6 p.m.? And go like that. So whatever they say, you agree with them and you move forward with the script. Nothing that they say is an issue. Everything is not a problem. That's actually why we're going. That's actually why I'm calling you. So everything you just agree with, and nothing is going to stand in your way. So don't let any hesitations or anything, any blocks that they're putting up stand in your way. You're here to make this appointment, and you know it's for their best interest. Now, callbacks. There are some occasions where you cannot book the appointment at that time. Either they are at work or somewhere where they can't answer, or they just are not available on the days that you have scheduled. They're out of town, things like that. So with that, remember that scheduling a callback is going to reduce the chance of you booking it, right? Because they may not answer, different things that happen. But there are occasions where you can book that. I continue to call that lead until I get a hell no, I don't want this. Or it's been maybe 3 or 4 months where I can't reach them, then I might drop the lead, right? If you're going in person, I would recommend those are the leads you want to door knock. Keep them with you when you're on your dial days, on your appointment days. Keep all the leads of the people that have not answered and door knock those leads in between appointments. So with the callbacks, what I do is I ask them, when you are available or you're back in town, what times work best for you? Or is it a morning person? Is it an evening? Do they work until 5? You want to know those things, because if they're not available until after 6:30, you don't want to call them on another date for a 2 p.m. appointment and waste another call. Now, you know that they need a 6:30 appointment. You won't call until you have a 6:30 slot in their area and you know that that's going to work for them. So you're kind of avoiding multiple calls. There are some people that either are not in town anymore or will absolutely not book. There's very few, but there are some people that will absolutely not book, and things like that, right? So if they absolutely did not, I used to lose the lead because we're only doing in person. But now what I do is, if I've tried everything, I've gone through the rebuttals, and if it has to be in person, they're just not going to do this, then I offer a Zoom or a phone call, because it's a lead that you may not have done at all if you couldn't see them in person, but now you have kind of a second chance to meet with that customer. If they like what you say over the phone, you can close it over the phone, or you can create that appointment once they feel more comfortable. And then dials. You're going to dial 3 times. So in the morning, you dial the same number 3 times. That phone burner, you can schedule it to do that 3 times. It'll do it automatic for you. So 3 times. Most people answer on the second ring. I've gotten a lot of comments from customers where they actually think that the second ring lets them know that you're a real person and it's not a machine. Because if it's 1 time, they think, oh, this is a telemarketer, it's just a machine. When it's 2 times, they're like, oh, this is somebody that's trying to reach me. And they tend to answer more often. And then I dial again, remember, on my break if I don't have the right amount of appointments. And then I dial again for PM for the people that I can't reach. Now, on the call, you're booking the appointment, right? The appointment is one part of the process, but booking a quality appointment is what's most important, right? You don't want to book a bunch of appointments and then you get a lot of no-shows, right? You want to make sure that these are solid appointments that people are booking and will be home. So a couple of tie downs that I do every single time. In the beginning, remember, I would read my script in order because I didn't have it memorized. And I included my tie downs at the end. So it was part of my script and I never forgot. Now I know it by memory, but those tie downs that I personally use is, I confirm the address just to make sure. Sometimes it's a rental property. Sometimes they're in a different location or they've sold it, whatever the case is. I just confirm the address. Then I ask, is this a house, mobile home, or condo? Depending on your area, you can change it up. So up north in Jersey, in New York, you can say, is this an apartment? Is this a house? Is it a duplex? Things like that. Then I ask, what color is the house? So he can easily spot it. And then I'll find out what the color of the house is. And then I'll ask, is there a gate or in front of the community or the property that we should know about? And then based on that, if there's a gate, is there a code that we need? Some gates will need a code, some it's just a button, and some they need to provide our information. And then I give my information. So I'll let them know, okay, great. Do you have pen and paper to write down the appointment details? This also kind of solidifies the appointment. It makes it real, makes it more likely for them to remember. They'll write down the appointment details. I'll tell them, okay, so I'll be there tomorrow at 2 p.m. Remember, my name is Cathy Alzate. I'm short with black hair, so you'll know when you see me. I have a dark gray car, and I'll be wearing my state ID around my neck. That ID number is, and give my ID number, right? And then I let them know just to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. I will be there tomorrow at 2, but if you can just give me a 30-minute window in case I run behind on a previous appointment, I'd greatly appreciate that. Nobody ever has an issue with that. And that buys me some time in case I spend too much time in one home or I hit traffic. It kind of sets the expectation. And quick sets. So this is what I do for all appointments. A few of them, those people that are, I have to go, I'm working or something, you know, they're in the car, not a problem. I'm actually just calling to set the appointment. I'm super busy too. Tomorrow, what works for you and your wife? 2 or 5 p.m.? 5 p.m. Perfect. I know you're busy. I'll text you the appointment details. And then I'll text them the same information. Hi, Frank, the appointment is tomorrow at 2 p.m. My name is Cathy, Alzate. I'll be in a dark gray car. I'm a short girl with black hair, and I'll be wearing my state ID. This is my ID number and the 30-minute wiggle room. So with that, I haven't had an issue, but everybody either writes it down or I send a text message. When they write it down, it makes it real that you're going to physically go to the home. They visualize what you look for, like they know what to expect. They feel a little bit more comfortable. Some people don't even care for the ID number, but just the fact that you're giving it to them, they know it's official, right? And then the last thing, resolving every lead, right? What does that mean? Resolving every lead means the lead is never dead unless you get a hell no. I need a hell no. I don't want this for me to cross you off the list. I've gone through a couple hesitations and you're not budging. So first you're calling them, you're doing whatever form that you can set for the appointment. I continue to call them. If I buy a new set of leads, every time I'm in that county again, I'll call all the new ones first. And then I'll go back to my old ones. Who haven't I reached or who's a callback? Go through that every time. And then if it's been a month, it just depends. At the beginning, I waited about 3 months before I did this. But if it's been a while and I can't reach this customer, I text them sometimes. This works best with mailers because I have a mailer with their handwriting that they filled out that when they see it, they'll remember. So I send a little message that I have saved that says, hey, I've been trying to reach you. This is Cathy for mortgage protection information that you requested about this form that you filled out by hand. I'm in your area tomorrow. Would this time work for you? And I send the picture of the mailer so they can see it. And I get a lot of responses that way. So that's really helped me as well. If they're a lot older, you'd be surprised in the beginning, I would leave a voice message. But remember, 3 months from now, not in the beginning. I don't leave voice messages and I don't send text messages. But you'd be surprised how many people actually can text as well. So I send the text message because they can read it without blocking the call. And I get a lot of responses that way. If I don't, I might leave a voice message after a month or two just to see if I have another shot to reach that person. So thank you for listening. Please listen to the rest of our videos that we'll have coming up. They're going to help you overcome hesitations and really, really get amazing at dial days so that your run days are so much smoother.